everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today is an interesting topic. I'm getting really bored of the fashion world, and I don't know. I'm getting so bored of what's going on, you know, the brands, what they're selling us, what they're not selling us. I just read somebody writing an article about Gucci and about Alessandro Michele and how, you know, the entire kind of being so uninspired and out of ideas and perhaps slightly even untalented aspect of this designer kind of contributes to this like overproduction of all these different sorts of everything really within one collection, and that is kind of, that happens for lack of ideas rather than overflow of ideas. And then the article goes on to say that it does, you know, the collection, the Fall/Winter 17 collection does reflect our times and the millennials and this kind of, they didn't use the word escapism like I used in my other reviews, but they used another term, more the uninspired terminology, I guess. But what I want to say is, it's so, you know, I've come to a point where I'm like looking at all of these shows and I'm just seeing the same stuff over and over and over again, and I'm so bored. And then I go to Instagram and then I get a lot of direct messages, or even direct messages on whether it be Facebook or whether it be YouTube, people asking me tips on whether or not to get a jumbo caviar, jumbo lambskin from Chanel. You know, it's always the same, and it's kind of fun for a certain period of time, but then you just get so oversaturated, and I'm so bored and overexposed to always the same stuff. I'm really, really longing for something new, and I don't see anything new that I like, or that kind of really kind of, you know, inspires me and gets me going. First world problems, I guess. I don't know. But since a lot of the stuff I talk about is fashion on this channel, you know, I would really like to have inspiring things to say, or to share kind of, you know, super happy vibes about how amazing the collection of XYZ designer is. Yeah, it's just not happening. I'm just like not really, not in the mood. And so I'm not going to blame the fashion world and the fashion industry and the fashion business, because to each his own. Some people love what's going on right now in the fashion world. I'm just not enjoying it. And which perhaps comes as a positive addendum to the fact that I had decided prior to this kind of depression, this fashion depression, I had decided already at the end of last year to not purchase new, luxury fashion anymore for this year. But I have to say it comes really easy to me because there's really nothing that I want. And awkward. I had to sneeze. Sorry about that. A little dust allergy, and actually it's more spring allergies. Like, I'm allergic to different sorts of grasses and particles in the air. So I don't know, I'm just so uninspired. I want something new. I want something to kind of rock my world. I want something to really make me feel alive all over again, you know? Ugh. And I don't know what that alive is going to be. I'm looking, I have like all sorts of stuff laying around me, like glasses and stuff. Nina Ricci. These have, oh my God, they have like, I don't see anything. These are from the 70s. I don't know, guys. This is the stupidest video I ever made, but it just like kind of showcases the reality of things, you know. Not that I'm out of ideas, I'm just uninspired fashion-wise. So let's talk about something else. I have this weird sleeping rhythm at the moment. I literally fall as like a chicken. As the sun goes down, I go to bed. I fall asleep super early, like latest 9 p.m., 10 p.m. And then I wake up at like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. And then I do everything I need to do. I'm like super organized, coordinated. I'm like, I discuss myself for how organized I am. That's usually not me. I'm more bohemian usually. And I just kind of start pondering things and thinking about things. You know, the political situation in the world is disgusting and appalling. Um, then I try to look for things that inspire me, and then I see, like you go on Facebook, you're checking out people are writing, mostly tragic stories, or people, posting memes for a little quick laugh, Then I resort to writing, to doing research, um, and then I would like to kind of escape into fashion, but then I start looking at what's out there and it's just so uninspiring and boring and dull. So then I stop that. Then I evade into, series, sitcoms and all that stuff. And some of them are amazing. And I spoke about that in another video of mine. I'm kind of rewatching the first two seasons and whatever is out already of the third season of Schitt's Creek. Catherine O'Hara, if you're listening, if you're watching, you're probably not. You're not, because what would you be doing on YouTube, right? Well, hi, I'm on YouTube. You see, it gives me a smile on my face. Catherine, like, if there's anything that kind of kicks my butt, it gives me like a shot of positive energy. That's you, like a dose of Catherine O'Hara every day, whether it be you in Beetlejuice or, I mean, Home Alone. I'm not a fan of that movie, but I loved you in the movie. But Schitt's Creek, yeah, takes the cake. And you take the cake. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like that's the thing. I feel like I'm in that motel in that city in Schitt's Creek in the middle of freaking nowhere. And no matter what happens, no matter what job I, get or not get, no matter what I kind of want to move towards doing, something kind of always comes in between and blocks you off and just like makes you realize that a lot of the things are so senseless and useless, and then you just like fall into that weird depression. But Catherine, you kind of kick me out of it because you're wicked in such a sympathetic way. I would love to interview you one day, and I would love to. And I've seen a lot of interviews with you, and most of them are like people ask, it's name dropping. I don't really like that much. And it's not on your behalf. Usually the interviewer kind of would ask you about that movie, that person that you worked with, that other person. And it just becomes like this, oh yeah, he did that and she did. Oh, and on the set it was like this and like that. And then 20 years ago in that movie. And it kind of, you lose the person that's watching unless they're not really super technical about movies and TV. I would personally prefer to ask you a lot about your passions, your obsessions, your techniques, how you get into the zone. And to me, fashion is an art form. Performance art is an art. Acting is an art form. Architecture, even though people say it's not, to me it's an art form, they're all interrelated and connected, and one thing can trigger an inspiration for another thing. And when it comes to Catherine, she has a body language and a posture that completely rocks my world and makes me envision storylines for her, movies for her, and also makes me see her in parts that are not tendentially a bit cliched for her. Unfortunately, in movies, you get kind of typecast very, very easily. She has had an amazing career and hasn't been always typecast, but usually she's slightly, characters can be a little bit off, a little bit bitchy, a little bit arrogant, but always very charismatic in it, but slightly detached. And I think it has to do with also with her face, with her eyes. She has these like gorgeous, gorgeous eyes, but they're ice cold at the same time. But they're very warm and charming at the same. And I would love to break all that pattern, and I would love to put her out of her comfort zone and completely in a space where she's lost, is shattered in pieces, and gathers herself together. I mean, in a role. And we as viewers see that struggle and see that power and that beauty. And yes, this to me is fashion and style. And I struggle so hard to find all of these inspirations everywhere. Clothes are just not enough anymore. And at the moment, you know, these phases come and go, and you pass through all sorts of different moods and vibes. Yeah. On another note, don't ever buy Versace costume jewelry. I'm wearing from 2011, like a necklace that I wore, costume jewelry, Versace, I don't know, 10 times tops. And I just found it archived in one of the drawers, and it's just like so aged badly. It's like scratched, and the chrome is like not chipping off, but and it smells, you know what, when you touch it and you smell the metal, it's just gross, and it changed color. Never again. It's like with each and every piece of Versace costume jewelry, I have gone through hell. So that's not happening anymore. I mean, and if you do purchase something that is kind of chromed or in metal from Versace and it's costume jewelry, just be sure to always wear it on top of other garments, never in contact with your own skin. Tragedy. Why was I saying that? I don't know. Just saying it for the sake of saying it. So yeah, so if you're experiencing a Super D in kind of a mood, in a bit of a mood, I'm filming right now. It's 3 p.m. So I have been awake today since 5:40 in the morning. So what is that? 13, 14 hours. Really? No. What am I talking about? No, not yet 12 hours. I've been awake 10-ish hours already. And I'm feeling kind of tired, but I would like to stay awake a bit longer today, also because I have a dinner appointment, and I would like to be more in the zone, but I have the feeling like I'm a little bit outside of myself. And I'm sharing this with you guys for a reason. I'm sharing this with you guys because I think we've all gone through this, and you want me to be more direct and more kind of personal in these videos. And I think we've all gone through this stage where we're like Blanche Devereaux from the Golden Girls with, how would she call it? Puce? Color puce? No, magenta. Or she called it magenta. It's like when you're not really blue, you're not really red, you're like no real color, you're not sad, you're not happy, you're not tired, you're not awake. You're literally alive because all your functions are working, but you're kind of just like floating through time and space, and you don't really see an aim and a purpose. These are phases I go through from time to time, and I have, being a creative person that I am, you need to go through the darkness to see light. You need to go through deep, dark places in order to find creativity, in order to find yourself, in order to find reasons to fight, to live, to create. So I'm not afraid of them. I know some people get pretty scared when they're lost, when they feel like they're lost. I find it as extremely mesmerizing and attractive to lose yourself, to kind of fall into that precipice and then collect yourself and rediscover yourself. It's, however, a dangerous place to be, so you have to be exercised in that art, which I am. I have a lot of discipline and exercise when it comes to particular performance. So, endurance. I can go on for 12 days without food, but just water. But I have to stop talking in order to do that. I've done that in the past, and it's incredible. It's an awakening. You go through these processes where the first 2 to 3 days you're a mess because your body's so used to receiving food, and you just get really nervous but because the body keeps producing acids to kind of digest food that's really not coming in. So, but after the third day approximately, your body understands, the stomach just kind of shuts down because it understands no food is coming. You're drinking a lot of water in this process. It's a cleansing thing, and you got to do it with somebody who knows how to do it. You can't just do it alone. Don't ever do this alone. You got to do it you got to be guided, by somebody who's professional at this. And then after the third day approximately, at least that happens with me, the stomach shuts down and you're completely, all of that energy that we're wasting every day, several times a day to digest, all of that energy just goes up into your head. And you're so awake. And you're not hungry anymore. In a way, your senses are triggered, your instincts are triggered to look for food, obviously, because the body's shutting down, so it knows what it needs in order to survive. But you don't feel hunger anymore. You feel illumination. You feel lightness. You feel enlightenment. And if you're guided by the right people while you're doing this cleansing, you really kind of find your way back to yourself. And you ground yourself. And I'm kind of going through that process right now, except I am eating. I'm approaching it from a different perspective. I am spending a lot of time isolated and a lot of time alone. It is partially my decision to do so. And it causes you to go through states in which you can feel deep sadness or euphoria, happiness. You're very, you think a lot. Certain thoughts are triggered on their own. I mean, thought patterns, of course, are all interrelated in a way. But you go through dark places. And as a creative person, you must. And it is very fascinating to talk about this and to kind of try to put into words what I'm feeling. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you got to let me know if you're interested more in this sort of approach to my channel and these sort of topics, because if you are, I can definitely go more in that direction. But for now, suffice it to say, I am in a great place, even though it's a lot of work, and even though it's a challenging spiritual and mental and physical process. It's rewarding because I've been through it before, and it's cathartic almost. It takes you from A to B. But to go from A to B, you really need to pass through that labyrinth, which is your soul. And it can be a spooky place. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video, which does have a point. It's focalized. We got to the actual point at the end. So let me know if you want to see more of this blabbering of Super D. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and thumb up this video if you liked it. Share it with the ones you love. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. No matter how deep the precipices are, we never give up on love. Love you guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye.